what's it gonna be? You're trapped in a new world of Street Fighter 3. Make your first move, so what's it gonna be? You're trapped in a new world of Street Fighter 3. The third chapter, so what's it gonna be? The third strike, y'all, is Street Fighter 3.
Hello everyone, this is Nick from Arcade Hunters, and I'm bringing you the final installment of the Street Fighter 3 series. This is Street Fighter 3 Third Strike Fight for the Future. Now this game originally came out in the arcades in May of 1999, and that was 2 years after Second Impact came out. So in those 2 years, Capcom really went back to the drawing board and just perfected what they did with the last two versions of Street Fighter 3. And a lot of people will call this pretty much the definitive Street Fighter game, pretty much period. And, you know, even now this game is still out there in arcades making money. There's a very popular Japanese magazine called Arcadia, and what Arcadia does is not only publish news about what's going on in the industry, they'll also post the top 10 list of the best ranking games. And even now, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike always shows up on that list. It's in the bottom list, but the game is still out there making money on location. And even in America, still over at Chinatown Fair, this game still gets a lot of play. And even in the tournament circuit, of course, you know, we can't talk about Street Fighter 3 Third Strike without talking about the, you know, infamous video with Daigo and Justin Wong doing that full parry video. It's absolutely incredible. Now, the first time this came out in a home system was obviously the Dreamcast, and that came out in 2000. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to find the Dreamcast version for a reasonable price. I'm still going to be looking for it, even though I do have this version. This version that you're watching me play was the one that was released in 2004, and that was over on the PS2 and Xbox with the Street Fighter Collection. Now, at the Xbox version, up until April, you could actually play it on Xbox Live with other people until they shut it off. And now, unfortunately, for our friends over in the PAL region, this game was not on the Street Fighter 2 collection. The only game that they ended up getting on that was Hyper Street Fighter 2. Now, I was debating on doing a review for it. Please comment if you'd like to see me review it. The only reason why is because I have a lot more games to review with the Versus series and stuff like that, and Hyper Street Fighter 2 just is the kind of like if they just took every version of Street Fighter 2 and put it together. Now, there's 20 characters in this game overall. They just raised up the roster. Chun-Li makes her welcome appearance back into the game, and people were really looking forward to seeing another fan-favorite character from the original series, and Chun-Li really made her mark. Now, there's 4 brand new characters. As you saw before, there was 12, and 12 is Gil's created super soldier, unlike Necro, who's kind of like the throwaway, kind of how Abel is in Street Fighter 4. Now, over on the screen on your left is Remy. Now, Remy has kind of like an odd backstory. There's a couple of rumors going around if he's related to Charlie. He might be Charlie's father, because it's said that he's looking for revenge on someone who has died. And obviously you can tell from the way that Remy fights, he fights a lot like Guile and a lot like Charlie, with the kind of sonic booms and the flash kicks. The other character that was added in that you'll be seeing next is Makoto. Now, Makoto is also in Super Street Fighter 4, and originally she was supposed to be Ryu's younger sister, and they've ended up changing that to she's a girl who's trying to earn fight money to end up helping her father's dojo and open it up and start training some new students. And finally, there was Q, which people will call like a joke character, or Ultraman in a trench coat, but he was based off the 1970s Japanese kids show. Now, many of the characters in the game got brand new voices, and thank God, because one of the things I didn't touch upon the last two Street Fighter games is some of the voices for the characters are absolutely terrible. Ryu sounds like an old man, and he just sounds like he's garbling his voice. Dudley sounds alright, but the voice that they gave him in Third Strike is amazing. And Alex had just like this really weird voice where he sounded like a woman whispering. In Third Strike, he sounds a lot more kind of like how the character looks. If you ever play the game, you'll hear it. Now, the other thing that was completely changed is the music. The music now has this new hip-hop soundtrack. From what I heard, I didn't get the artist's name, but it was a Canadian rap artist actually helped them do the soundtrack for it. And the soundtrack does have a lot of fans, and it has this really cool sound to it that none of the other games in the Street Fighter series had up to the time. Now, there's Parry the Ball returns for the bonus round, as you might have seen at the end of the second Impact video, but they've also brought back the Crush the Car minigame from the original Street Fighter 2, and instead it's an SUV now. Now here's Q, and a big shout out to Andy over at Tokyo Game Action. He used to main as Q, and he told me he used to pull off some crazy stuff now. Now in the first player mode they actually added in, or also in the versus mode, you get a judgment that grades you at the end of the round, and I'm not that good, so mostly I'll get G's, E's, and F's if I'm lucky. And parrying in the air was made a little bit easier in this game, and also throws and holds were changed from second Impact. So they really did go back to the game and really made it that much better, you know, because, I mean, this game, even now, as I've said, you know, in the arcades, it's still out there making money, and, you know, this is in 2010, and this game was released in '99, so this game still has its fair share of fans, and, you know, it's one of, I would say, Capcom's most requested games to have brought back. Hopefully, they do listen to the fans. I would love to see this on Xbox Live Arcade and PSN to be able to play with more people from around the world that just love this game, and also to get better in it, because unfortunately for the match play video that you're watching, I'm still playing it through the Easy Cap, so it's got a large bit of delay, so I cannot parry on this game at all. So this is all 3 games of the Street Fighter 3 series. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching these 3 videos. I'm going to be back with more videos from the Street Fighter 3 series. I still have a lot more to go through, as well as the Versus games, the Alpha series, and of course, next game is going to be Street Fighter EX3. So thank you very much for watching. I'm Nick from Arcade Hunters, and have a good one.